Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear, 'cause you can't see if you might mess it up, just shine. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yoyis, and on my channel I pretty much teach you guys everything you need to know about lash extensions. We are going to talk about the difference between home base, studio rental, or working for somebody else. I have gotten so many questions about this, and honestly I feel like I'm at the point where I can give you guys my honest opinion about it all. I have never worked for somebody, so I can't really fully understand that aspect of being a lash artist working for somebody else, but I can give you my opinion of why I never decided to work for somebody else. And it's mainly because I didn't want anybody telling me what time to come in, what time to go home, what time to have lunch, how much my work is valued at, and rushing me in the process. That is pretty much what you get working for a salon, working for somebody else. Yes, they provide the bed, they provide the equipment, they provide the lashes. All you have to do is show up and lash somebody, you know. I have had several clients that are lash artists that do work for big brands here in Las Vegas, and from the things that they tell me, it's scary. Like, the things that they tell me, I'm like, why are you going through that? Like, you shouldn't even be going through that. Like, you have been with a company for how long, and they're treating you badly, and you still stay because you're so comfortable there, like you're afraid to venture off and do your own thing, you know. The thing about working for somebody is that yes, they pretty much provide everything. They give you clientele, they give you products, they give you a room. You don't have to worry about paying rent. The only thing you have to worry about is how much you're actually gonna make off commission and hourly. That's if they pay you hourly. I know that a bunch of companies or locations start you off hourly, and I know that they have different kinds of levels as beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So I know that if you've been working for a company for a little longer than a couple of years, they pay you as an advanced lash artist and you make a little more money, so the commission is a little bit better. So I can see why a lot of lash artists stay with certain brands for such a long time, because honestly they take care of you the longer that you are with them. But just having to deal with like certain people, I wouldn't want to. I've heard about drama, I've heard about, you know, like just, you know, crazy stuff going on in these kind of salons, because of course you're mainly working with a bunch of girls, you know. So what I do recommend is that when you are going to be working for somebody, is do your research. Instead of, when you go to an interview, you should be the one interviewing them. Why should you spend your time working for a company, making them money, and you're barely making anything from the sets that you're doing? Say you go into a company, they're charging $300 for a mega volume set, and you need to get it done in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 1 hour. You just made a company $300. You're the one that's putting in the work. You're the one that's being rushed to do that set, but you're only getting paid like what, $100, $50 off that set. I don't get it. I don't get it. And if they have like a full schedule for you, say you have 4 or 5 clients, you made that company about a little over $1,000 that day, and meanwhile you only made like $200, probably even 3. I don't know. I've never worked for anybody, but from what my, you know, clients tell me, that's pretty much what's going on. Honestly, I can't do that. And then on top of it too, let's not talk about that a bunch of these companies are not using good quality lashes on their clients. I've heard horror stories about people, you know, these companies using really old glue from like 2018 lashes that don't even fan because they're so old, and you know, just bad quality, just like overall like not good stuff, you know. And I honestly would not waste my time with somebody like that or a company like that. And it sucks because I feel like a lot of lash artists don't have the courage or feel like they're not going to make it if they go on their own, you know. If you are one of those lash artists that are working for somebody and you've been wanting to go out on your own, I'm telling you, the time is now. You have more than enough experience to go out and do your own thing, so don't be scared. to just go out and do it, you know? So that is probably one of the biggest reasons of why I don't want to work for somebody, or why I've never even given the thought. Yes, I've had multiple companies here in Vegas reach out to me and want me to work for them, but honestly, I would not want to give my time to a brand that wouldn't respect me, that pretty much rushes my sets. Because if you guys don't know, I like to take my time. I like to make sure that my clients are getting good quality products, service, everything. And if I'm being rushed to get a full set done in 1 hour, no thank you. Like, no, I would much rather take 3-4 clients in one day and make sure that I give them good quality service over 5, 6, 7, 8 clients and be rushed and, you know, have bad work. So that's just the way that I feel about working for somebody else. The good advantage about working for somebody is that, well, first of all, you do need to be licensed to work for somebody else, to even be in a salon, depending where you're located. I know here in the States, most to all states do require you for you to be licensed in either aesthetics or cosmetology for them to even consider giving you a room. So that is one thing that you do have to keep in mind, is that you do have to be licensed. Say you are licensed and you don't have anywhere to work from, pretty much you don't have a spare room, you don't have anywhere in your house that you can start off from, then I do recommend for you to go and work for somebody, because one, they do provide the bed, they provide the products, you don't have to pay rent, you pretty much get paid commission or hourly depending where you go. So you don't have to worry about even bringing in clientele, because they will do that for you. So that is like a good advantage about working for somebody, is that if you pretty much want to be taken care of, they'll do that for you. The only disadvantage is if you don't know what kind of place you're going to get yourself into. You don't know if the actual owners are good people. You don't know if, you know, you're going to get along with other coworkers, little things like that, you know? So that is just my opinion about it. But it is a good thing if you don't want to be lashing from home. You don't want to go off and rent your own location because you don't have clientele, little things like that, you know? So let's get into actually renting your own location or your own studio, or even leasing your own office space, or, you know, pretty much being self-employed, working for yourself. It is hard. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and be like, oh yeah, it's the best thing in the world. No, it is hard. Let me give you guys a little story situation of what's going on with my new location. If you guys don't know, I did start off being a home-based lash artist and I loved every second of it, but I'll get more into it in just a second after I finish talking about renting your own location. Obviously, this is my first time renting a location and I decided to go big, right? Go big or go home. The only reason why I decided to even start or even rent a location was, one, because I had some girls threatening me that they were going to report me. So just saying, I don't understand why there's hate. I don't understand why girls feel threatened, why they have to go out there and threaten people and make them feel like they have no choice but to go out there. You know, girls need to mind their own business. That's all I'm saying. So we'll get more into that. So it was mainly because I've been wanting to. I was actually looking for a location for a long time, but I wanted something that was my own. I did not want to go out there and rent a small location from like a salon or something, but unfortunately that is the route I went, just due to some other stuff going on in the background. The reason why I decided to start renting a location was because I wanted to focus mainly on my in-person trainings. And now that I've been doing it for a couple months, I love training. I love being able to meet new girls and just, you know, talk about lash extensions and just get to meet all of you guys. So that is the reason why I even decided to rent a location. If it wasn't for me doing my trainings, I probably would have been home based. I love being home based. Just waking up, drinking your morning coffee, you know, not even rushing it, not having to worry about pumping gas in your car or driving down to your studio. Like, something about just being at home and being relaxed and not feeling like you're rushed. I loved every second of it. And I mean, the only thing about it is that when you are home based, I do recommend for you to have your own separate room. I don't recommend for you to be lashing out of your living room or, you know, your kitchen. But I get it because of some circumstances. I understand that some of you can't or don't have a separate bedroom, so you have no choice but to do it out of your living room. If you are going to be going that route, I recommend for you not to have anybody at home while you are lashing out of your living room or kitchen or wherever you're lashing from, because it's a little unprofessional. I'm being honest with you guys. Even me feeling that I was, lashing at home, it's completely different. It doesn't feel as professional. And even though I was licensed, it's just a whole different feeling, because if you guys don't know, you're not supposed to be lashing from home. I mean, there's only certain areas here in Nevada or even here in Las Vegas where you can lash out of your house, and there's certain laws and regulations where you have to have like a separate door, like people. It's not like in a living common area. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be lashing out of your living room. But if you don't have anybody living with you, or it's just you yourself, or you don't have people coming in and out of your living room area, then I'm not one to judge you. Do you, boo. But I'm just saying there is laws, there is regulations, so definitely be careful, because if you do get caught, there's a fine. That's all I'm saying. There is a fine. It's pretty scary, honestly. If you are lashing from your house, knowing that there's so many laws against it, then you do have to be careful. That is the only con about lashing from your house, is that if you get caught, you will get fined. If people snitch on you, which people will be out to get you, trust me. It's happened to me, and it sucks, because I don't see why people don't mind their own business. But it's just it's the industry we're in, so we kind of just have to be careful with that. So honestly, if it wasn't for that reason, I would have loved to be at my house lashing as long as I could. I miss lashing out of my house. Honestly, I do miss it. The only thing about it is that it is pretty scary. You don't know who you're bringing into your house. You don't know if that client that you just brought in is out to get you, if they're there to report you, or if they're gonna do harm to you. That is the one thing that it is pretty scary being a home-based lash artist, because you don't know what kind of people you're dealing with. So do be careful. If you are a home-based lash artist, at least have some kind of security, a camera to kind of have your back. Okay, so I think I kind of jumped into home-based when I was talking about studio rental. Okay, so now that we're talking about studio rental, it is a headache. Not going to lie, it's not easy. It takes so much out of you. You are pretty much your own boss. You are in charge of your hours. You are in charge of how many people you're taking in and how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. So it is not easy, but it's so rewarding. I love every second of it. I love being able to charge as much as I want to, pretty much charge my worth. If somebody doesn't want to pay my prices, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you a discount. I have overhead that I have to pay. I have bills. I have adult stuff that I need to handle, because I'm not getting paid by anybody. Like literally my income is coming from the clientele that I bring in. So it depends on how much I promote myself and how many people I could get in the door, but it also depends on how much you're charging. So yes, the good thing about being a studio rental owner is that you can charge as much as you want and be okay with it and not feel bad about it, because first of all, you have to pay rent, and usually with a bunch of these places you pay rent weekly. So if you're not making more than enough to cover your rent or even just to live by that week, it's a headache, I'm telling you guys. So like I mentioned, this is my first time renting a location, and I decided to rent a location for myself instead of working for somebody else. And man, I probably shouldn't have gone with a new location, because it has been a nightmare. I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. It has been a nightmare, and I'm not a Karen. Like I'm the chillest person you'll ever meet, but they really pushed my button to the point where I got confrontational, because I'm like, I'm paying X amount of money a week. That's more than what I pay in my house rent. It's a lot of money, So I'm like, you guys are like literally walking all over me. You guys are not taking myself seriously. The lights were not working. My lock was not working. My connections were not working. The AC was not working. It was hot as hell. Imagine trying to lash in an almost 90-degree room. Your clients are complaining about bad retention. It's been horrible. I'm just gonna say that. It's been a hot mess. Oh my god. Okay, so it was so bad to the point where I ended up having to switch to a different room because I just couldn't deal with everything that was going wrong in another room. So I ended up getting a bigger room with the window, and honestly I love this room so much. The only thing about it is that because it does have a window and the sun does shine through it, like after 5 p.m. it does tend to get really hot in there, but as long as my AC is working, I'm good with it, you know. So if you guys are going to be renting from a salon, you guys have to make sure that they take you seriously. Just because they're managing and you're renting off of them doesn't mean that they can pretty much walk all over you. You are paying them, so in reality you're their boss. You can tell them what's up, you know. So understand that when you are going to be renting your own suite, you're your own boss. You have to come up with product, you have to pay rent, you have to get your clients in. So there is a lot of cons about being your own boss, but honestly I wouldn't change it for the world. I would much rather deal with all of the expenses of being an owner than having to work for somebody else and deal with that kind of drama, you know. I mean, there's obviously so many cons and pros about each one of those. If it was up to me, I would much rather be a home base, but the thing about it is that if you do get caught where you're located at, there's laws against you working from home. I would just be careful, you know, just really be careful, because people are out to get anybody that they can. So definitely be careful about that, and if you get caught you get fined. So the only way to avoid that is if you're doing everything correctly. I recommend for you guys to be licensed, of course, you know, but I understand in some situations it's hard to get your license, so no judgment here. But honestly, that is what I think about the difference about being home based, about working for somebody else, and being your own boss. I love being my own boss. I love the fact that I can charge as much as I want, keep 100% of it. But the only thing about it is that I do have to pay rent and like my products and blah blah blah, you know. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I hope my tips helped you guys out today, and I hope it kind of made you guys realize a little bit more in the direction you guys want to go. So yes, if you guys want to work for somebody, you do have to be licensed. That's the only thing about it. But also be careful and make sure that you are choosing someone that is good for you, not just because it's a big brand. Just make sure that it benefits you and not them. Make sure that if you are going to be working from home, just be careful. Try to have your own separate room. If you're going to be working out of your living room, then, you know, just make sure that it's not too rowdy and that there's like nobody around. Make sure it's very private and make your client feel at home. If you are going to be going in the direction of being your own boss, then girl, you go out there and you kill it, and you make sure you charge your worth, and don't let anybody stop you. Have policies and boundaries in place, because at the end of the day, you're your own boss. Somebody could easily walk in there. And I'm actually going to get ready to do a horror story of a client right now, just because I just never thought this was going to happen, but I think you guys deserve to know this horror story. That way you guys can be a little prepared and be like, nope, ain't nobody walking all over me. Okay guys, so I hope this video helped you guys out, and if you guys do decide to check out my membership programs, I will have a link down below for you guys. I want you guys to take your guys self seriously and just go out there and start killing it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on future content. I do want to put a quick disclaimer: not all my videos are going to be blocked off. I will still continue to do free content for you guys, but if you guys do still continue to support me, thank you guys so much. I love each one and every one of you guys, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.